news comes first. This is ABC-7 Extra.
Good evening, I'm Saul Sainz, and this is ABC-7 Extra Sunday Edition. I want to thank you for sharing your Sunday evening with us to talk about a topic which has been highlighted by the pandemic, a national nursing shortage impacting the borderland as well. It's a staffing shortage we don't normally think about until we need health care. Recently, a group of nurses demonstrated in front of the Hospitals of Providence Memorial Campus. Registered nurses complain they are working long hours because of staffing shortages, picking up the extra load left by a void in the staffing workforce. If you've walked into a hospital and believe you are seeing fewer nurses or hospital staff, well, you're not alone. Those same nurses are telling ABC-7 they're seeing fewer co-workers working alongside them and are having to pick up the extra load many times to the point of exhaustion. Tonight, we hear from registered nurses who joined a national protest against staffing shortages that could pose a threat to your healthcare needs.
I work in the emergency room, and it's very stressful, very high pace. We see sometimes between 10 and 20 patients per nurse in a night, and it just doesn't give us the time that we need to not only properly build a relationship with these patients, to settle their fears, to really understand what's going on with them.
It's very exhausting to have to stay a late shift for 14 hours, come back and do it all over again. And it could be a 12-hour or it could be another 15-hour shift depending on what our staffing is that day.
Both Ramirez and Matson took part in a nationwide Staff Up for Safe Care demonstration aimed at highlighting the need for healthcare providers to increase staff before those who are handling an overwhelmed workload collapse.
And this has been ongoing for 2 years since COVID started.
According to the American Nurses Association, by 2022, this year, there will be far more registered nurse jobs available than any other profession at more than 100,000 per year. COVID-19 has exacerbated the situation. According to Wanda Helgeson, executive director at StormTRACK, the pandemic triggered nursing retirements or forced many to leave the workforce to take care of loved ones. Others chose to hit the road for a bigger paycheck, some salaries as high as $150 an hour.
We lost individuals that went to contract agencies because there was greater dollars there. And so we did lose a lot of our core group. And I don't know that we ever really recovered from that before we had the next surge.
While nurses are forced to carry the extra load on their shoulders, these nurses say patients will see the results of overworked, understaffed emergency and intensive care units.
We're just rushing them through as fast as we can because we need to see as many as we can. We don't have the proper staff and the proper equipment to really take time with these patients and treat them to the best of our abilities.
The nursing shortage is absolutely an issue that the facilities deal with every day. We have, compared to what we had last year, we have a very limited number of supplemental staff that we have been able to provide the facilities.
The American Nursing Association adds that with more than 500,000 seasoned RNs anticipated to retire by 2022, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics projects the need for 1.1 million new RNs for expansion and replacement of retirees and to avoid a nursing shortage. Which means nursing educators like Texas Tech El Paso Hunt School of Nursing will have to try to fill that void in the borderland. But until that happens, current nurses say they're going to work with a hope and a prayer.
Pray every day now before I go into work, just that we'll not have any major catastrophes.
Joining us to talk about the nursing and staffing shortages is Stephanie Woods, Dean and Professor at the Texas Tech University El Paso Hunt School of Nursing. Also here for the conversation is Lori Maroney. Ms. Maroney is a registered nurse in the borderland. I want to start with you, Ms. Maroney. How bad is the staffing or nursing shortage?
Bad enough that we're bringing in travel nurses. We're having to work 4 days a week for weeks on end. Excuse me. And having to take loads exceeding more than what we're used to as far as nurse to patient ratios.
Long hours, I imagine, too.
Yes, definitely.
Ms. Woods, are graduates coming back and talking to you about just how bad the staffing situation is, or are they simply shell-shocked trying to meet the needs?
They're doing their best to be integrated into a system that is completely different from what I would have experienced. But you have to remember these nursing students have known nothing but COVID for the last 2 years. So they have been pretty well indoctrinated as they have moved into their clinical rotations in these hospitals. So they've seen what it's like and they're trying to help.
Yeah. Ms. Maroney, did the staffing shortages become more pronounced during the pandemic?
Oh, definitely. There's always been a shortage, but now there's an increase of people leaving to go travel, which leaves us short. And then you don't always get the travel nurses in. It depends on the need of the hospital and the areas that you are. So there might be a greater need in Dallas versus here. So it depends on where the greater need is to where they fluctuate, these nurses. So you may have to work short because there's a greater need somewhere else. It just doesn't end.
Ms. Woods, let's talk about everything that is involved in the staffing shortages. We're talking about people who are simply just leaving the workforce to care for their loved ones. We're talking about staffing shortages. We're talking about the pandemic as well. Some nurses are even falling victim to COVID, right?
We are having people who are sick, and those stresses are great. But I think everyone understands that in an unprecedented time that we do what we can to help. We are worried that we are going to lose people just from compassion fatigue and just physical demands. But I believe that nurses will do the best they can to meet the needs of this community.
And Ms. Maroney, let's talk about that fatigue that Ms. Woods just mentioned. In situations such as these, when you're fatigued, your defenses go down, and then you could fall victim to COVID, right?
Yes, and we have seen an increase of nurses having to call out on sick leave, and that then again affects the staffing. But that's our team, that's our loved ones. So therefore our heart is separated because they're home, they're sick, you're concerned about them, and you're concerned about yourself getting sick as well, and what that will impact you and your family and so on.
Okay, we're going to take a really quick break, but you're watching ABC-7 Extra. Still ahead, we dig deeper to try to find out why nurses are leaving the profession, and I'll ask if there's a way schools like Texas Tech can produce more nurses faster. This is ABC-7 Extra Sunday edition, where news comes first.
COVID is surging. Hospitals are full. People are really sick. Get tested, get vaccinated, get boosted. Please help our healthcare workers. VaccineNM.org.
Step into the new when you drive a Chevy. It's time for a fresh approach and a new perspective. Meet new friends or reconnect with some old ones and find the Chevy that's right for you. Find new experiences, find new roads. Step into the new with a new Chevy. Very well qualified buyers can get 0% financing on most Chevy vehicles. Plus, current competitive owners get an additional $750 bonus cash. Chevy drives Texas. Find new roads.
We've made a major upgrade to the ABC-7 studios.
But the team you know and trust still has the same commitment you expect when it comes to complete coverage of breaking news.
This is a lot more than new furniture and monitors.
We've also made a major investment in behind-the-scenes technology.
We've enhanced our ability to make complex stories understandable with big, bold graphics.
Always searching for new ways to serve you.
ABC-7, where news comes first.
Every day is a celebration at Bravo Cadillac. We celebrate our friendships, we celebrate our loyal customers, we celebrate everything. We are Bravo Cadillac, and we're here to serve you in the most amazing ways, like no down payment, no payments for 90 days, and oil changes for life. I'm a veteran, and veterans are always welcome at Bravo Cadillac. Who are we? Bravo!
COVID is surging. Hospitals are full. People are really sick. Get tested, get vaccinated, get boosted. Please help our healthcare workers. VaccineNM.org.
Welcome back to ABC-7 Extra Sunday edition. University Medical Center sent us this loan repayment program release to our newsroom. According to this sheet, UMC awards up to 85% of nursing debt to nursing applicants in return for a 3-year commitment. This is a UMC repayment program. Nurse practitioners can apply, registered nurses, advanced practice registered nurses, and nurse faculty are all eligible applicants. I want to welcome back my guests. Before we went to break, I posed a question. Why are nurses leaving the profession? And of course, Stephanie Woods joins us. She's a dean, a professor at Texas Tech University of Hunt School, El Paso Hunt School of Nursing. Also here for the conversation is Lori Maroney. Ms. Maroney is a registered nurse in the borderland. Ms. Maroney, have you seen fellow nurses simply just retire or leave the workplace to care for loved ones? If so, have they told you why?
I have a few that have more changed directions with nursing, maybe not leave the floor nursing, but have changed directions. Due to a lot of it's for the kids, that their schedules have changed with school. They can't be at home and be at work with the young ones. Some of them are for older parents, or there is some that retire just because the demand on the body and the hours is a lot harder than it was.
Yeah, and then I want to ask a follow-up question, only because you have, I'm assuming that many nurses are working alongside traveling nurses. Is there a morale issue when RNs are working alongside contract nurses earning sometimes triple what staff nurses are earning? Is there a morale issue there? It's got to be a little demoralizing.
There is a little bit of, I wouldn't say resentment, but something towards my responsibilities are a lot more for the staff nurse of that facility, and they are making more money. But we need them, so there's a double-edged sword. You definitely need the help, and you appreciate the help. It would be nice to be rewarded for your loyalty and your commitment to your company that you've been with.
Yeah, because some traveling nurses earn as much as $150 an hour, and they obviously are not that familiar with the facility that they go work in, right?
No, and we are their resources. We've been at the companies I've been with my company 12 years, so I'm the one they go to for that information, for policies, for knowing how to get started in our units. And so that's definitely, it causes some resentment somewhat, because we are the ones that go home and have to struggle to make our paycheck spread, and they're definitely not having that problem. I think the other issue is that we stay and we spend our money in our communities. They take the money and they leave, and we pay taxes in our communities, so we keep all our resources here.
Yeah. Ms. Woods, what sort of pressure does this nurse staffing shortage place on educators to churn out nurses, and can schools produce nurses faster or at a higher rate?
The pressure is immense, but that's the reason why schools of nursing exist. And so in El Paso, we're very blessed. We've been working for the last 2 years on partnerships between Texas Tech and El Paso community colleges, as well as our local high schools. And our local high schools have nursing tracks where students who wish to become a nurse can take all their nursing prerequisite courses before they graduate. Now, this is a game changer, because that means they graduate at the ripe old age of 18 with all their prerequisites, and they walk directly into my 2-year completion program. And so when they do that, they are going to graduate and enter the workforce at the age of 18 or 19, where I entered the workforce at 21, 22. So when you think about being able to get those prerequisites out of the way, not go to a college for 2 years to do that, and just step right into nursing school, that means we can get them into the community within 2 years.
So playing devil's advocate, though, do they have the necessary experience to be the boots on the ground right away?
The first thing I'm asked is, are they mature enough to be able to handle this? Yes, they are. I tell people that these students are born old. When you set aside the usual high school experience to not only take your high school courses, but also your prerequisites for nursing, you're a pretty special student. And so these students are very, very mature. And we have seen no change, no difference between our traditional student and these students coming out of the early high school. We've not had any complaints from either the hospitals. We believe that they are equally prepared to stand alongside their peers and practice nursing.
How long has this program been in place?
We've been at it for close to 2 years now. Praise God, we had done that prior to the pandemic. Yeah. And so it has been a real boon for us and for this community. And as we continue to build this program, we'll see more and more of these young nurses entering the workforce sooner.
Well, this next question is for both of you. I just told you everyone what program UMC is providing. Is it enough, too little, too soon, or simply not enough to keep existing nurses? I'll start with you, Ms. Maroney.
I think it's a start. I think that if we could get more companies on board with some repayment, whether it's loans, whether it's bonus programs, or hazardous pay, whatever that may be, I think you can keep people local. It takes a lot to travel. You have to be away from your family. So a lot of us choose not to travel, but if you can get a short-term contract even in town, then you are leaving your known facility to make that more money. So if somebody was to offer us a better package, I don't think that we would have the fallout as much.
Ms. Woods, before the program, we were talking about this particular program. It's ideal for nursing students, right?
Absolutely. They graduate with so much debt. We average, we believe, our students leaving Texas Tech carrying about $30,000 in debt. That takes a while to pay off, and some have more. And so all these things are helpful, but I will tell you that there's no singular answer, no singular approach. It's about rewarding the people that are currently working here, our own people, as well as helping new graduates reduce debt. It's everything that you can do to create a sense of loyalty to this community and to help people meet their needs financially while they're helping this community get whole.
Okay, ladies, we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, what more can be done to keep nurses on the job? We'll look at that when we come back.
Think premium can't be capable? Think again. Introducing the first ever AT4 lineup. Premium and capable. That's professional grade from GMC. Step up to GMC with 0% financing on these GMC models. We are professional grade GMC.
Winter weather can really impact your day.
Conditions can go from dazzling to dangerous in the blink of an eye. That's why the ABC-7 StormTRACK weather team has the most advanced tracking technology.
And shows you future track to help you visualize when changes will impact you.
Always tracking, first to alert.
The ABC-7 StormTRACK weather team is here to help you keep your family safe.
For custom alerts, download the KVIA weather and traffic app today.
No matter what your business is, you want it to be profitable. As the expert on what your company needs to succeed, take marketing into your own hands and create your own success. Reach your business goals by taking advantage of ProLink, our premium business page option at Borderland Local Links. Only $99 for the entire year. Customers are looking for you. Make sure you connect with them through Borderland Local Links. Simplify your marketing plan with a premium business page at borderlandlocallinks.com.
Welcome to 2022 at Oscar Leaser's Hyundai of El Paso. Start the new year with low interest rates and even lower payments. Like 1.9% APR for 60 months on all 2022 Hyundai models in stock. And payments as low as $189 a month. That's $189 a month, supported with a 10-year warranty. Or sign and drive a new Elantra, Sonata, Cola, Tucson, or Santa Fe with 0 due at signing. 2022 is here at Oscar Leaser's Hyundai of El Paso.
Welcome back to ABC-7 Extra Sunday Edition. I also want to welcome back Stephanie Woods, Dean and Professor at the Texas Tech University El Paso Hunt School of Nursing, and Lori Maroney. Ms. Maroney is a registered nurse in the Borderland. Ms. Woods, do you think the Borderland will have enough nurses by the time we reach this newly anticipated surge? And I've been talking to County Judge Ricardo Samaniego, as well as Dr. Ocaranza and other professionals, health professionals, who say they're expecting a surge between January 20th and February. With that in mind, do you think we're going to have enough nurses?
We are already in a nursing shortage, and this has precipitated a greater shortage. No one has enough nurses right now. You can talk to your peers across the state of Texas and anywhere in the nation. It is requiring a greater number of patients per nurse for the assignment. The nurses are being asked to work extra hours. So no, we don't have enough if we look at pre-COVID levels. But what our nursing peers are learning to do is to work smarter. We're also trying to get students to be part of the solution. We're bringing in Texas state nurses that are deployed by the governor. There's the opportunity perhaps for military deployment. So we just keep bringing in people trying to make the full complement possible. But it is a real challenge.
As a follow-up question, is it a crisis and does it pose a health threat?
I would not say it's a crisis. It is the toughest situation we've ever been in. And so what happens is the hospital becomes primarily a COVID hospital during surges. And so the teams work together to deploy care that they know very well at this point in time. And so I would say that it is all about the teamwork that has evolved and the models that they have used to meet this challenge that is making the difference.
Ms. Maroney, I want to ask the same question. Do you think we are at a crisis, and does it pose a health threat? Based on what you've seen, boots on the ground.
Well, and we have all a different interpretation of crisis. It's a crisis to us, I feel, because we have to change the way we practice in the hospital when we do have surges. Scheduled surgeries have to be canceled or backed up, and which leaves us short on one end or extra on another, but that extra goes towards the extra patient load. And then the people that need these surgeries, they may have been planned for. It could be tumor removal. They have to wait because we don't have the room or availability for them. So it becomes a crisis maybe to that individual family that's been waiting around for something, and we don't have room for them.
Has it modified the way that nurses work now because of the shortages and obviously the pandemic?
Oh, obviously. I think we all seen the clips of people, you know, nurses wearing gear to go into rooms. People don't think it takes maybe 15 minutes extra of your shift to get dressed up to go in a room and dress out. And then you have all this extra stuff to do at home to make sure you're clean and take care of it. So everything has definitely changed in the way we practice together. I think that we've pulled together as a team more, knowing that we have to help each other out because we all, for the greater good, need to come back the next day. So I need to make sure you're rested and ready for the next challenge.
This next question, again, is for both of you. Do you think another surge will trigger more retirements or push current nurses to just call it quits? Ms. Woods?
It's not just about the next surge. It's the fact that we may be in this for a very long time. And I think the hardest thing is to look forward and think, is this going to be what it's like for a very long period of time? And so
because of variants, of course.
Because of the variants, because of some people choosing not to become vaccinated. I think that we will see some improvements when younger children can be vaccinated. That will help a lot because when students are in school, they're going to be more exposed. But I will say this, that as my wise peer has mentioned, when you are trying to get in to get all the health care that you need and the hospital is full of COVID patients, that's one of the biggest challenges that we have. And so we just all have to work together. This community has to decide to do everything in its power to stay well and safe and to protect others. And we need to support our nurses who are doing more than we've ever asked of them before. Yeah.
Fortunately, Paso, or the borderline in general, has a high vaccination rate. So that to be thankful. On a personal note, Ms. Maroney, your thoughts on this topic of staffing and nursing shortages. Tell me, personally, what are you going through? What are your fellow nurses going through? Is it just exhausting? And is there a brink where you just like, can't do it anymore?
It feels like that. I have been looking myself just to see if maybe getting off of the floor and into a different part of nursing will ground me because I do feel like the tiredness has run its toll. And it's, you know, you don't want the person in the bed to suffer because you're burnt out. There is places I can still help in nursing, so it doesn't have to be that way. And I know I'm not the only one thinking, you know, if I'm not worth the extra money to be on the floor, then I need to be doing something for myself. If all I give to you is not worth it, then I need to do something for myself to better myself. And if I'm thinking that, then there has to be more nurses that have been around and stuck around. So that will definitely could lead to more staffing issues when maybe it's a little bit get us the staff we need, and then we're not as tired, and then we don't choose to leave.
Are nurses earning enough? Do you think they should be earning more?
I think if they did a base pay for the nurses that are in our area that have already been working for these companies, if they could raise that, I think that they wouldn't walk out. You wouldn't have these shortages. People would be coming home to work versus leaving to make that more money.
Ms. Woods, as an educator, has the pandemic and the nursing the staffing shortage, has that modified the way y'all teach now?
Absolutely. Everything that is just part of a normal nursing program is enough of a challenge. But when you're trying to prepare students to go out and participate in a worldwide pandemic, it takes a lot of thinking. And so we actually added a course to our curriculum as an elective that talks about how diseases are spread through infectious diseases, and in particular to give them what they need to know about COVID. So we're trying to prepare them for a reality that they're going to face every day.
Okay, Ms. Willis, Ms. Maroney, thank you so much for taking time from your schedule on this Sunday evening. I appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you for joining us. There is one more thing that can be done to help overworked nurses feel better about their profession: appreciation. Next time you see nurses trying to keep up with a large volume of patients, you might want to thank them. A little appreciation and recognition goes a long way. I'm Saul Saenz, and this has been ABC 7 Extra Sunday Edition. Good night y buenas noches.